What's up, everyone? I think I'm live. If you can hear me, just drop and I can hear you down below. I say this every time, but I've gone through these where I talk for like 20 minutes and nothing's happening. And so if I am live, just let me know. All right, looks like we are officially live. Facebook has told me. Hope y'all are doing amazing. What I wanted to talk about today was what I would do if I had to start over again. What would I do to get on the ground and get running again and really hit a home run. Because I think when I see a lot of people get admitted into this group, there's always two issues. There's the issue with leads, which is about 50% of the people. And then there's the issue with being able to set appointments and sell their deals or close their deals. And that's about 50%. So what I wanted to go through today was what would it look like if I sort of lost everything and just had to restart and had to rebuild and regrow and just pick myself up from nothing. I just got back from Hawaii, so I wasn't active in the group for the last week. I'm back now. Obviously, though, we're still festive. We're still ready to go. So if you're ready to hit the surf in Hawaii, just give me a hashtag surf down below because that is a good time. We go out there and my little 3-year-old daughter gets on the front of my surfboard and we paddle out and we hit the waves together and stuff. So it's a good time. But one of the biggest things that we want to think about when we are building and growing our businesses, we want to keep things systematic and simple. The problem with most people, I think, when they first start is they try to have like 7 funnels, they try to have like 24 systems, they're building all these different things, all these different products, and it becomes a jumbled mess. When you're first starting, the key to success, and this is going to sound overly simple, but the key to success is simplicity. It's one product, it's one service, it's one price point. And that's how you win. Because when you start getting into this game where you have 27 funnels, you have a cheap product, a medium product, a high product, a super high product, another product, and you keep releasing stuff, it puts you in a position to where you start doing too much and you're not generating enough revenue from one thing to optimize that one thing. And so the key to winning and the key to doing well is learning that it takes one thing to be successful. And once you have that one thing, your entire goal in life and your entire focus is to optimize that one thing. And so if I was going to restart, if I had to restart, I had nothing, my first step would be to build that one thing. It would be to build what I call a transformational offer. And if you want a full training on that for free that I have in this group, just drop transformational offer down below. But the first step would be to build that transformational offer. It would be to build that offer that is one thing, that delivers one product, that has one goal in mind, that gets people to one place. And then I would take that and I would optimize that. And I would only focus on that until I hit 50 to 100K in revenue or something like that, when I need to start thinking about more stuff to optimize margins. Then the second thing that I would look at when I'm actually going out, which now starts tying into getting leads, is the thing that I would start on first is I would tap into my warm network. So a lot of people go out and they think they need to run ads. They think they need to go cold message people. They need to do all these new things. But in reality, most of us know quite a few people. The problem, though, is almost all of us are afraid to ask the people we know if they might be interested in what we're doing, because we don't want to look stupid. We don't want them to look down on us. We don't want them to say no. We have all these worries. But in reality, one of the biggest lessons that you'll learn in business is if you're afraid to do something and you don't do it, you're going to fail. And so if you don't want to fail, you have to do the things you don't want to do to get yourself to the places that you want to be. But if you're unwilling to do the things that you don't want to do, you're never going to get where you want to be. So the first step for me would be to write down my warm network. Who are the 50 to 100 people, or 25 to 50 to about 100 people that I know that I could go out and ask, and that they would at least entertain a conversation about what I'm doing. And I can tell you in the beginning, when we launched our first health business, I did this, and we created like 40K from this just because I was able to tap into my warm network, tap into the people I knew. And I was afraid to ask, and I was afraid to get rejected, and I was afraid that they would think I was stupid. But turns out it worked, and it worked quite well. So the first step to getting yourself off the ground and to getting yourself to scale is to tap into that warm network. Then the second thing I would do is I would call up friends I know that are in business that could be strategic partners for me. Like if I'm a health coach or something, I would call up friends who sell supplements and I would see if we could do something together. If I'm a business coach or if I'm like a Facebook ads coach, I would call up like a sales coach and see if we could do stuff together. I would call up friends I know and I would see if they could help at least either put the word out of what I'm doing or partner with me to kind of promote each other's services. I would be in a weaker point if I was just starting because I don't necessarily have anything yet. And they would be in a point to where, because they're a friend, they would be helping out. So that's the second thing that I would look at. Again, we can't be afraid to do these things. We can't be afraid of rejection. We have to be ready to dive all in if we want to win. So then the third thing that I would look at is I would go on a content blitz. I would be doing content on social media. I would be doing content. I would be getting on podcasts. I would be doing live videos. So it would be like live videos almost every day. I would be putting out long form posts. I would be getting on podcast once, probably 4 to 5 times a week. And I would just hit the ground running hard for 3 months like that. And does this take a lot of time? Well, yeah, it's going to. Do you want to build something sustainable and that's going to grow? If the answer is yes, well, you have to put in the time in the beginning to be able to enjoy or have the audacity to live your life down the road. So yeah, it is going to take a lot of time. And the people who fail are the people who are unwilling to do that because they don't want to put the time in, or they're afraid to do a live video. They're afraid to get on a podcast. They're afraid to talk. They don't know how to write. And the big thing is, none of us know how to do that in the beginning. I didn't know how to do it. I had to learn it. I had to read books. I had to try. And the thing that got me really good at some of this stuff, especially communication, was doing it often. Going on a content blitz. I built a Facebook page initially where we went from 0 to like 30K followers. I did a live video 6 days a week for a year straight. And it got me really good at communicating on video. It got me really good at speaking on podcasts. It got me really good at content, which allowed me to grow and scale what I was doing. So I would go on a content blitz as the next strategy. And everybody who engages and interacts with my content, I would generate a conversation with. Hey, thanks for watching this. Hey, what did you think about this? Hey, I just wanted to reach out. I know you engaged with a bunch of my content. Hey, I noticed you were on my podcast. Now you're on my email list. And I would talk to everybody about it. And all of these conversations turn into opportunities. And all these opportunities are leads. And all these leads turn into potential buyers. Then you create business out of this. So the next thing I would do is every single person who I enroll, because doing these 3 things I already talked about, I would probably be able to generate at the minimum a client a week. And then I would say every client that I enroll, I would make it my entire goal in life to turn that client into at minimum 2 referrals. That one person would turn into 2 for me. So now for all the efforts I did in the first ones, I'm generating referrals on this last one. And then if 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, and then it just snowballs. I call the referral strategy, it's the angular momentum method, or something we call the infinite velocity method, where you create infinite velocity and hockey stick-like growth just from the ability to create a systematized strategy for referrals. So that's what I would focus as the last piece. And so as you notice, all of these things aren't really that complicated. I would tap into my warm network. I would use friends to create strategic partnerships. I would go on a content blitz and I would interact and create conversations around everybody who engages. And I would get at least 1 referral for each new client that I bring in. Doing this would put me in a place where I could scale and grow a fairly large business within a year. And I think the reason that most people aren't successful is, number one, they're doing 75 million things. They're trying to have too many funnels, too many products, too many services, and they're all over the place. So pick one thing, that one transformational offer, and go all in on that. Once you scale up to the point to where margins become super thin, that's when you can start introducing other products, lower end stuff and all that. But in the beginning, keep it simple. One focus, one product, one system, one funnel, and then follow these steps. And there's no way that you can fail unless you don't do it, unless you're afraid to do it, unless content's too hard, unless you're afraid to talk to your friends about what you do, unless you don't have any strategic partners who are friends, unless you won't do what you need to do to be successful, unless you won't do what it takes to be successful, unless you refuse to do what it takes to be successful because you'll talk yourself out of it, because it's scary, because you don't want to do it, because you're afraid of rejection. We have to be able to embrace rejection and fear in order to be able to propel ourselves to the next level. If we can't embrace rejection and fear, embrace rejection and fear, it's going to put us in a place where we can't be successful because we're always going to run away from it. So you kind of have to hit it head on. You have to say, it's okay. I will fail. That's all right. I'll pick myself back up. I'll keep moving forward no matter what happens. I'll keep my simplified strategy. I'll focus on these goals. I don't care if people say no. I don't care if people say yes. I am going to focus 100% on where I need to be and how I get there. So if you need help doing this and figuring this out, just drop a help down below and I'll reach out and see if we might be able to possibly help you. But that's what I have for today. If this was valuable, just give me a hashtag valuable down below. And if you're joining me live, give me a hashtag live. If you're joining me after the fact, give me a hashtag replay in the comments and let me know what your number one biggest takeaway from this is so I can understand what you're thinking about what I'm talking about. And I'll stay on live for a couple of minutes if you have any questions. There's a few people on, so drop your questions down below and I'm happy. Am I muted? Let me check. Anyway, if you can hear me, just give me and I can hear you down below. Oh, no, I can hear myself. Cool. I was like, gosh, did I just get that whole thing muted? Anyway, if you have any questions, drop those down below and I'd be happy to answer them and go back and forth. But otherwise, I'm going to jump off of this. I will talk to you all later.